Hello friends! Welcome back to some more Cinderella Phenomenon. We are getting into it with Fritz / Varg / whoever he is. And I am so hyped to see what happens next. So, let's get cracking. Chapter 7, Perspective? Wait, is that what that said? I'm not even sure. Opening my eyes and moving my body is a struggle. I feel sluggish and numb, and there is a suffocating heat in my chest that makes it difficult to breathe. When I finally do rise, my thoughts are tangled and confused. Where am I? She lives. Varg! All I have to do is see you, and I'm like, Urgh! Ah! I turn my head just in time to see Varg rise from a chair just to the side of my bed. Has he been sitting there watching me? And he is not wearing his mask. I was a little nervous that it was going to be like, and he was doing something completely inappropriate the whole time. What are you doing here? You've been out for a week, princess. A week? Oh my god. I think I would know how long you've been playing Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, that's the wrong fairy tale curse, princess. Wrong one. Get it together. After all, I've been here the whole damn... Varg quickly clears his throat before gazing down at me, an exasperated expression on his face. Do you even remember what happened? Memories suddenly flood through my mind. They are fragments, but together they create a startling picture. Sir Mithros, in a room. 12 chimes of the clock. My 18th birthday. The Tenebra room. And... Mother! I sit up immediately, only to succumb to a wave of nausea and dizziness. Oh my god, yeah. That was so intense what happened last time. Much to my surprise, Varg reaches out to steady me, his grip firm but gentle. Slow down, princess. You're not ready to fight me yet. I'm getting some 50 Shades vibes from him, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. What time is it? Almost dawn. Will he become Fritz again in a few hours? Or have I lost Fritz forever? Or do you believe me if I told you Fritz doesn't want to see you? Oh, my awareness of my last conversation with Fritz hits me full force. After what happened the last time we spoke, I'm not surprised that Fritz does not want to see me. He was too ashamed to face you. I had no idea Fritz would react the way he did to your words. I have most of his stronger memories. Not all of them, but most. I thought he'd have most of mine too, but I guess that's not the case. Aw! Varg, are you sad? What memories do you have? That's none of your business. The expression on his face is clouded. For a few moments he is silent, thoughtful. In the beginning, they were mostly of you. Oh, he likes me. He wants to kiss me. What? Varg glances away. I notice the way his fingers drum uneasily on his cane and stare. I've never seen Varg look like this. I carefully slide my way over to the edge of my bed, allowing my feet to dangle to the floor. Fritz cares for you, princess. Take my word for it, if no one else's. Why is he suddenly telling me all this? Will I ever see him again? Or has he lost to you? Varg flinches back from me, taking a few steps back to put some distance between the two of us. Ah, who's taking steps back now? I can't say. I watch Varg closely. I'd never noticed before, but Varg's emotions are very clear if you know what to look for. Oh. Okay, I know what I'm doing. I am absolutely pressing him. I'm not leaving anything. Go big or go home. You cannot say or you won't say. Princess. The gentleness with which he says my title makes me think of Fritz. However, just as I am beginning to hear Fritz's voice through him, his demeanor changes once again. The vulnerable man disappears and is replaced by the usual facade. Varg straightens and glares at me. He displays this confidence to hide his true emotions. It seems like he wears two masks. Hey! I'm better than I think I am. You are more like Fritz than you would care to admit. Fritz would never harm me. Varg snarls, but he no longer intimidates me. Fritz this, Fritz that. All you ever talk about is this idiot. Even though I have been the one by your side this entire time. Fritz is nothing compared to me. Then why do you feel threatened by him? Oh, my words render Varg speechless. I dimly notice the patterns of red dawn scattered across my room. The sun is almost up. I look back to Varg, my eyes seeking Fritz. Varg moves, his eyes fierce as he closes the distance between us. Are you... Oh! What? Okay, I was kind of joking earlier when I said that Varg had a thing for me. What? Varg presses his lips to mine, effectively stifling the rest of the word. I only have a moment to gasp out for breath before Varg kisses me again, more deeply. I raise my hands to push him away for a brief second as my mind hazes over in shock. Varg takes advantage of my confusion and moves forward again, an unreadable expression in his eyes as he leans over me. I try to pull away, but Varg tangles his hand in my hair, tilting my head back to press his lips firmly against mine once more. Oh my God. No, this is not right. I tremble as his free arm sweeps down my back and eventually comes to rest at my waist. I'm sorry, is it getting warm in here for anyone else? I need to take a sip of my coffee. Why is he kissing me? He doesn't even like me. Well, clearly he does, my friend. Anger clears my mind. I ball my hands into fists and shove at Varg's chest. His eyes are bright and out of focus when I am able to look into them. His chest betrays his labored breathing. I wipe the back of my hand against my mouth and I glare at Varg. I do not trust myself to speak without screaming at him. Coherence slowly starts to filter back into his gaze. I can see the awareness in his gaze, along with guilt. I suddenly realize that my cheeks are now wet with tears. Oh my God, why am I crying? Well, I guess if you didn't want it, then that would be quite traumatic. Varg takes a step toward me. Though he does not utter a single word, I can see from his body language that he means to apologize. Varg is going to apologize to me. That'll be the day. He reaches out a hand as if to touch my face. No! I move back and close my eyes. Adiuva! April? I open my eyes when I hear the familiar voice and watch as Fritz quickly rushes to my side and kneels in front of me. His hands cup my face as his thumbs brush against my cheeks, wiping away the tears that I cannot stop. What did he do, Princess? Fritz. I feel suddenly overwhelmed, like there is too much whirling in my mind. I'm not sure how long we sit there together. It feels short, like a single moment, but it could have been an eternity. I'm sorry, Princess. I shake my head in an attempt to clear my fractured thoughts. Fritz frowns, but the expression clears as he brushes my hair away from my face. His fingertips gently trace my cheek as he speaks. I failed as your knight. I should never have left you alone that night. I could have stopped all of this from happening. All I have done is cause you pain. All this past week, and this past week has been hell. I didn't know if you'd wake up, or if I would be able to be with you when you did. He looks at me, his expression grim. And I wasn't there when you did. Varg was. You finally know about him. Fritz nods as he gives me a pained smile. No apology could ever be enough to excuse what I did to you. I doubted you that night because I thought what you were saying was impossible. I wondered how I could be cursed without knowing about it. But now, I hate myself for treating you the way I did. I must have put you through so much suffering because I did not believe you. I know I have never been worthy of you, but now I have betrayed the trust you had in me. He drops his hands and pulls away from me. I don't think I have the right to be called your knight. I reach out and grab his hand without thinking. Don't say that! Fritz looks at me in shock. His wide-eyed gaze only makes me feel embarrassed, and I have to focus to keep from floundering. After a long moment, Fritz manages to smile at me. It is small, but genuine. I don't deserve your kindness. Kindness? Is that what this is? We sit together in silence for some time, enjoying each other's calming presence. My room is quiet as the sun steadily starts to rise. Do you know what has happened during this last week? I'm afraid not. I wasn't myself for most of it. Oh, that would be so hard. He is fading even faster now, and just when I feel that I've truly started to know him. I've already told you about the disappearance of the prince and the princess, but it seems like the queen has gone missing as well. Ophelia is missing. I can only hope that they made it out alive, that Rod led them back to the Marchen. There, they will be safe. I did not think I would ever trust anyone there, and I still don't, but Parfait said that the Marchen is a place evil cannot overtake. And whether or not Varg is truly evil, his mission is to kill them. I can at least be sure Parfait will protect them. King Gennaro is still here, but he is different. He's not himself. And what happened? It's your mother. Oh my God, we are going to find out what is going on with my mom. The day you fainted, that same morning, your mother returned. I can only stare at Fritz in shock, knowing that what happened that night wasn't a dream. Everyone in the castle is acting as if nothing is wrong. It's like the last 4 years haven't happened. But the instant I saw her, I recognized her. And after that, well, I don't remember what came next. My next conscious moment was today, when I saw you. Fritz raises his hand as if to touch my face, but he abruptly pulls it away. He flinches, then doubles over, his face contorting with pain. No, not now. I won't let you. His eyes are cloudy, his gaze turned inward. He is speaking to the other side of himself that I cannot see. I reach out to him and try to call him back. Fritz! He looks up at me and attempts a sad smile. That doesn't look like a sad smile. That sprite definitely looks like it's like a laughing. He is trying to make it seem like he is fine. When he speaks, it is through gritted teeth. I'll never let him hurt you. Well, I mean, he didn't exactly hurt me earlier. I mean, can you trust me? About that at least. Yes. April. Ooh, the shadows dance around him almost tauntingly at first. Then they simply engulf him and Fritz disappears into darkness. I take a step back. Oh, there he is. Welcome back. I hate to interrupt. You again. I snarl at him, but Varg merely shrugs. He looks indifferent, as if what transpired between us before never happened. I have things to do today. Varg turns away and walks briskly out of my room without glancing back. Oh, poor Fritz. I hate that for him. That's so rough. I make my way through the hallways of the palace, determined to find Sir Mithros. Also, this piano music is so good. This is gorgeous. I don't think I've ever heard this one before. I feel like I'm getting new pieces now that I'm in Fritz's path. Over the next few months, I have been all but invisible to the people in the palace. It allowed me to pass undisturbed. I'd always figured it was because no one remembered who I was with my curse. But today, things are different. A maid sweeping the hallways jumps at the sight of me before quickly curtsying. They all know who I am. Oh, my curse has been broken somehow, I guess. Maybe? Your Highness! Her eyes are downcast, but she does not look up at me as I pass by her. As I walk past her, 2 other servants heading in my direction also move to the side of the hallway. Your Highness. Your Highness? They remember who I am now. But how? Has my curse somehow been broken? I spend the entire morning searching for Sir Mithros, but he is nowhere to be found. The only room I have yet to search is the throne room. I push open the doors and walk inside. There I am met with an unexpected sight. The king sits on his throne, his posture regal, but his eyes downcast. Ooh, I've got to take a sip of my coffee now. Your Majesty? He does not look up when I enter, but I can see that his eyes are stony, unmoving. What has she done to him? Mom, what have you done? I approach him cautiously, and upon closer look, I notice how his eyes look so empty. It is almost as if he cannot see me. I inhale, and something catches in my throat. My heart begins to beat rapidly. What have they done to you? My princess. I whirl around to see Sir Mithros approaching me with a smile. Where did he come from? I could have sworn there was no one else here when I entered. Sir Mithros. I was just on my way to see you. Varg just told me you had awakened. What is wrong with the king? Physically, there is nothing wrong with him at all. Anger begins to burn within me. You swore that you wouldn't harm him. Is he not alive, my princess? Take a good look at him. The king is completely unharmed. The change in Sir Mithras' expression is subtle, but I can feel the malice in his gaze. I should add that it was difficult to keep this promise, princess. My queen will be having words with you about this. Mother? Where is she? She's left the palace for the time being. You have been unconscious for a week. My queen could not spend every moment riding by your bedside. But didn't Varg say he was the only one to stay by my side? I shake the thought from my mind. When will I be seeing her? At dinner, I assume. Now, if that's all... Wait. Sir Mithras pauses abruptly to look at me. The servants I met in the hallway seem to remember me. How? You really cannot guess. He sighs as he runs a hand through his hair. When you turned 18 and became the Tenebrar bearer, the curse that the Lesser Witch cast on you broke. What? Moments before your mother woke, you were the strongest witch in all of Angiel. A Lesser Witch's spell could not have any effect over you. Congratulations, princess! You are no longer a victim of the curse. Your life is back to the way it was before. Now, is there anything else you would like to ask me? Yes, there is. About Fritz. Oh, no. Sometimes they give me these options, and they're so similar that I don't know what to do. I feel like, okay, and this is such a dumb reason for me to pick this option, but I feel like since he's saying, is there anything else you want to ask me? Then I almost feel like he's saying, you have permission to ask me, and he'll answer. Which makes me lean toward the question, as opposed to the order. Also, I don't think he's going to take any orders from me anymore because my mom is back in the picture. So that's my justification, and we're gonna see if I'm right. I might not be. This is one of those where I'm like, I'm just gonna look for any context clues I can find. How do I break his curse? Okay, oh no, this looks like it's gonna be wrong. Much to my astonishment, Sir Mithras begins to laugh. The sound is cruel, so sharp and deadly it cuts through whatever hope had been forming in my heart. Oh shoot. You wish to break his curse. Oh princess, you should have told me earlier you cared so much about the boy. Perhaps then I would have tailored his curse to your requirements. Okay, apparently I'm right, but I still feel weird about it. Poor, upstanding, chivalrous Fritz. In many ways, he was too much of a knight for his father's liking. Oh my god! Personal space much? Sir Mithras leans closer to me, so close I can see the crazed gleam in his eyes. Would you like to know why I cursed him, princess? I remain rooted in place, but not flinching away from Mithras is harder than I would have thought. Sir Alcaster approached his son for help, expecting him to help kill the king and take over the throne, but Fritz refused. Sir Alcaster needed an obedient servant, and Fritz deserved to be punished for stepping out of line. No. And so, I removed those memories of Alcaster telling Fritz of his devious plans and gave him the curse. Fritz has the Little Red Riding Hood curse. There is, after all, no better servant than the big, bad wolf. Alright, Little Red Riding Hood curse then. It's better than the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde curse that I thought was going on. He has all the power and drive of a predator, but is still so obedient. Wolves are closely related to dogs, after all. And better yet, The big bad wolf will always stay close to the lady he desires to devour. Okay, that's a little sexy. Maybe a little sexy. Oh, apparently the princess doesn't feel that way. I can feel disgust seething in my stomach. I have created the perfect servant for Sir Alcaster, in short. Sir Mithras suddenly reaches out a hand to grab my face by the chin. He forces my head up at a painful angle. There is no breaking his curse, princess. Not unless Fritz is somehow able to mentally overpower Varg. And we all know how formidable Varg is. Sir Mithras releases me. I don't like Mithras. I mean, of course I don't like Mithras, but I also feel like there's... Remember in my very first episode, I said something like, I hope he's not one of my love interests because he's awfully old for me. I feel like that was a very charged moment. Woof. No pun intended about all the dog stuff that we were just talking about. Now put the idea out of your pretty little head. Don't you already have everything you've ever wanted? He smiles wryly before turning and walking out of the throne room, leaving me alone and trembling. Oh, princess. Oh, are you into it? To break the curse, Fritz has to overpower Varg. In his own mind? A sudden cold descends upon me. I wrap my arms around myself and shudder. I turn to look at the king, but he has not moved since my encounter with Sir Mithras. Your Majesty, did I do this to you? You're calling your dad Your Majesty? Mother. If she were here, she could make sense of it for me. Mother, where are you? I stare at my now trembling hands. This is not what I wanted at all. Oh my god. Princess, we cannot. I am the crown princess. Which is why we cannot allow you to leave on your own, Your Highness. It is strange to think just a few months ago these same men did everything they could to keep me out of the palace. Your Highness, you'll need an escort if you want to leave. I can take care of myself. Back to being a nuisance, I see. Oh, you put your mask back on with the little pointy nose. Maybe that'll keep you from, making out with me. Sir! They know who he is. I watch in stunned silence as both soldiers salute to Varg. Varg turns to smirk at me. Well, what's going on here? The princess wishes to leave the palace to visit the town. Does she now? I can feel Varg's eyes on me, but I refuse to look at him. Fine, I will accompany her. But the queen said... The words die in the man's throat as Varg turns to glower at him. His eyes flash with impatience, and it is enough to coax the soldier into silence. Open the gates. Yes, sir. The gates swing open. I rush out thinking that maybe if I move fast enough, I can lose Varg. It's not gonna work. So, what are we here for? Though I tried my hardest to shake him, Varg is still irritatingly close. It is impossible to leave him. Princess. Varg leans out and wraps his fingers around my elbow, pulling me to a stop in the shadows of an alleyway. My irritation is immediate, and I look up to glare at him. What are we doing in town? As much as I don't want to agree with those idiot knights, you really shouldn't be wandering the streets. My next words are cold and sharp. Why not? Before, that was what everyone insisted I do, and now the only thing everyone wants is for me to stay indoors. Varg is silent for a few moments before finally letting out an exasperated sigh. Angiel is not what it was, princess. What are you talking about? Varg places his hands on my shoulders and turns me so that I am looking out onto the streets. I'm not overly familiar with the kingdom, but even I can tell that something is off. Okay, I don't see anything off yet. The shops that had once had colorful display windows are now empty. Their displays are dull or non-existent. The liveliness of the market stalls is all but gone. My gaze is drawn to the bakery shop that Fritz had taken me all those months ago. Its dim windows tell me that it is closed. There are so many different sweets here. Buy whatever you like. Are you certain? Absolutely. I know nothing makes you happier than a good pastry. How do you know that? Well, it is a knight's job to know these sorts of things. Just how much do you know about me? Nothing that anyone else wouldn't know. What's my favorite color? Blue. My favorite flower? Lilies. I told you that these croissants are famous, right? Those are my favorite. I'll get a croissant then. Not a custard Danish? I thought you liked those best. A croissant, of course. Right away. Oh, an all too familiar ache beats within my chest. Has it been that long since that day? Everything was so vibrant and full of energy back then. This place was so lively, and there was music that filled the streets and performances everywhere, but now, so much has changed. It's so silent. The streets are so empty, and the eyes of the people, their eyes are glazed and unseeing, just like the king's. I step forward to get a better look without realizing I am only dimly aware of Varg's hands, which have not moved from my shoulders. What happened? The queen happened. But the people, she can take control and demand obedience, but she can't force love or loyalty. The people of Angiel are being crushed, princess, and they know who's responsible for it. Varg's voice is hushed, but he still draws stares. I flinch back at the expressions on people's faces as they look at us. There is fear in their eyes. I instinctively retreat, until I fall back into Varg. His hands tighten on my shoulders. They know that you're her daughter. These are the looks they have always given me. This is why they have feared me. Abruptly, Varg draws his cape around me, enclosing me in darkness. No! Oh, okay. I'm still here. When light finally filters back into my consciousness, I am facing a completely different street. What did you do? Smoke and mirrors. Things might have gotten out of hand back there, so I got us out. He suddenly releases me and nudges me forward. Can we return to the palace now? I grit my teeth. I still want to see the town. Is it impossible to think that the entire place is so changed? How is that possible? Sir Mithros said Mother was out. Sorry. I really need to see her. It is almost dinner time, princess. Your family will be expecting you. Mother will be expecting me. I should see her at dinner, right? Thinking about everything that has transpired exhausts me. I rub my eyes and sigh. Fine, let us return. All right. Oh my god, am I going to see her in this episode? I'm so hype. When I enter the dining hall, a familiar figure stands by one of the windows. I have to take a sip of my coffee before we can deal with this. I have not seen her for 4 years, but she remains unchanged. Standing before me is the only person whose love I have never doubted. Mother. Oh my god, she's beautiful! This is the first time we've seen her! Oh my god, you gorgeous woman! My dearest one. I move toward her immediately, like a moth drawn to a flame. Soon I have my arms wrapped around her in a hug. I do not care that I am crying. Mother, I have missed you so much. And I have missed you. I cannot believe that Mother is indeed alive. I'm crying so hard tears blur my eyes and it takes effort to speak. I thought you died. Mother presses a soft, cool hand to my cheek. Her touch is more comforting than I remember. And it is thanks to you that I did not. I am so proud of you, love. I had thought her warmth would envelop me longer, but Mother is quick to draw away from me. I look up at her in confusion and flinch when I see that her gaze is cold. But I heard you left the palace today. What have I told you about leaving the palace, April? No excuses. You know my feelings on this. But have you truly become so disrespectful while I was absent? Let's not fight. Not tonight. Yes, Mother. Come, sit. I take my usual chair and stare at the now vacant seats in front of me. There is a heaviness in my chest when I remember who sat in them. Those are Ophelia Rod and Emmeline's places, and the king. I turn to look at him and feel my heart falter, then sink. April? The king is sitting in his usual seat, but his expression is as vacant as it was earlier. It's nothing. Mother follows my line of sight and frowns. Ah, Mithros told me of your request. I had not anticipated that you would require something from him in exchange for reviving me. But no matter, I had no desire to see Alcaster's plans come to fruition. Where is Sir Alcaster? My mother beckons quietly with a wave of her hand, and servants begin to place platters of food on the table. Exiled? There is no place in the kingdom for a snake like him. Then why is Varg still here? My mother looks at me with knowing eyes as the servant spoons soup into our bowls. You still need a guard, my dear. It was fortuitous of me to retain him, considering your actions today. I look down, my mind racing. But enough of these inconsequential notions. We must discuss your training. What? You are the crown princess, and you must learn how to be a queen. Eventually, you too shall become the Tenebrarum bearer. I will show you how to control it. It was impossible for me to think of Mother as a witch. But seeing how she speaks so casually of the Tenebrarum, and considering all that has happened this week, I have no choice but to believe it. Why did you not tell me about the Tenebrarum? About the witches? Dearest one, you are so young. I wanted to protect you. And it is no matter now, for I am here. I will teach you through practical demonstration. I have always found that to be the most effective way. She looks at me sharply. We will begin by punishing those that cursed you. Fear and shock immediately flood through me. What? Punish Parfait and Delora? They have acted to keep you from me and from your destiny. They must be punished. Don't you wish for revenge on those that have wronged you so? I know what I want to do here, but I also know what I think Hildir would like more. I haven't pulled my punches up till now. So I'll protest. Hildir's gonna hate me. Oh man, I hope this is... That really might be the wrong thing to do. But if it might save my friends at the March-In, I'm gonna protest. I do not want revenge. Mother sets down her spoon. Dearest one, need I remind you of how the people of this world will seek to abuse your nature and your position in order to use you? Have you not experienced the selfishness and greed of people firsthand? Were you not cursed by such people? You're right. Okay, this was right. I'm not sure, guys. Oof. But Delora and Parfait, they had been kind to me as well. Mother goes back to eating. Regardless, we shall start your lessons tomorrow. For some reason, my eyes are drawn once more to the king. He has not moved since dinner began. His soup is still untouched. The king is barely conscious. Mother is right here, so close to me, and yet nothing feels right. You will succeed me in all things, my daughter. Mother speaks, and my attention snaps back to her. I expect nothing but your full devotion to this task. I mechanically bring a spoon of soup to my mouth and swallow without tasting. Could I really punish anyone? Oh, dearest one. Mother's voice pulls me from my thoughts. She reaches over and brushes my hair away from my face. Her touch is heartbreakingly familiar. She is right here, but I feel like this is the most distant I have ever been from her. We are never going to be separated again. Oh my god. I cannot believe we get to see Hildir. Oh my god. All of these paths, 3 complete paths already. We've never seen her. And oh my god, number 1, she's gorgeous. Number 2, she's scary. Number 3, I'm nervous about what we're gonna end up doing in the next chapter. Oh my god. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Feel free to follow me on the social media that I'm linking below. I am very active on Twitch, and I would love for you to come by and say hello. And yeah, see you next time. Bye!